Mark, I got completely screwed at a recent show. Financially. Oh my goodness. It was a show in town, so it wasn't far away. And you know who was the perpetrator? It was the U of L, University of Louisville women's basketball team. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
I love that you use the term perpetrator. Meanwhile, you look like a bad guy in Home Alone in this getup, like you're about to rob a house, like you learned that in a prison cell.
Yeah. I'm like Steve Jobs, but just if he liked instead of he had
if at the buffet you always said, and one more thing.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so I'm doing this show downtown Louisville.
Hold on. Let me also hone in on the basketball. This is the basketball team, a women's collegiate basketball team.
I know. I was surprised that women were allowed to play basketball, just like you.
They're great, but is it Division One?
Yeah, it's Division One.
Division One. What are they? What are they, like the Redbirds or something like that?
Yes, Cardinals. Yeah.
Cardinals.
They are Redbirds.
I'm a descriptive guy. I'm a basic. I mean, that's my kindergarten word for cardinal. Redbird.
Cardinals. Yeah, Cardinals. No, they're the Cardinals. And
the Lady Cardinals.
Lady Cardinals. Yeah.
How'd you get wrapped up with the Lady Cardinals?
They just made everything worse, is what I'm saying. So I had a show downtown Louisville, right next to the Yum Center. So that's exciting. The Yum Center is where the U of L
Yum Brands, the Pizza Hut, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Pizza Hut, KFC. KFC is really famous around here.
Yeah.
And Colonel Sanders.
Around here, you mean your household?
Around my household, yeah. KFC. I'm a big fan.
Empire. I just had some chocolate, so let's go.
Yeah. There's a very famous cemetery just not far from here, like 8 minutes away. Okay. And it has Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, so you mentioned this before. It's got the yellow and the green path.
All the way to Colonel Sanders. Okay. So anyway, so the Yum Center, about a block away from the Yum Center, is the Louisville Comedy Club.
Okay.
Which is, it's a great club. One of the.
Oh, this story is taking a turn. I thought you were performing for the basketball team. I would
never perform for them after what they did to me.
Traffic issue, and I think maybe they're doing better than you expected.
After what they did to me, I will never perform for them. They have lost me as a potential performer. But
just to be clear, Redbirds in Louisville, I will perform for any team. The club pickleball team. Yeah. I'm happy to perform. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Okay, so it was. I mean, I might be a little dramatic here, but it was a Thursday night. There's not supposed to be traffic at 7:00 on a Thursday.
Wait, Jake, I think you really buried the lead. We had a little chat a little behind the scenes for everybody. We had a little chat about opening with like a good teaser opening sentence, really draw the people in. Where was I got screwed by the women's basketball team from University of Louisville? That's basically what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
There's our clip right there.
That's what it is.
I got screwed by the entire team.
The entire team
screwed you.
Well, exactly. They oh my goodness. I will never forgive them. Okay.
Who were they playing? Do you know?
They were playing South Carolina.
The Gamecocks.
Yes, which is weird for the women. I mean, I guess the women are still the lady.
Yeah, the Game Hens.
Game Hens?
Or the Lady Gamecocks.
That sounds a little weird.
Seems like a transgender joke is there somewhere. The Lady Cocks. There's got to be. Yeah, okay. We'll have to do some research. Somebody type a comment down below. Let us know. What is the preferred nomenclature for the Red Sticks of South Carolina?
Yes. So there you go. It was really just I had to pay for parking, and that is the worst.
Oh yeah, that is such a dagger. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you're going to the movies and it's like $8, fine. But if your pay for the night is $6, then you gotta pay $8. It's such a dagger.
Yes. My pay, and I was on my phone with my I was on the phone with my wife when I paid for parking and did this whole thing, and I was like, man, I'm only getting paid $50 for tonight, and she said 40. Because I paid $10. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm only getting paid $40.
Wait a second. The parking was $10?
$10.
Come on, man. That's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But I had to park 2 blocks away, and the one like the closer lot was 25. Now, there's no way I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Half of your comedy money
Yeah.
to just park, come on. That's ridiculous.
Well, I can kind of top you there. We talked a lot about this long 18-night run that I did, and exactly how much money I made.
Yeah.
Well, post accounting, I got in the mail a speed trap camera bill, essentially way more than $10. Let me tell you.
No.
And I thought about not paying it. I don't know like what the logistics are of that, but finally I was like, I don't want to have to worry about this, so I just paid it.
Is it in a different state?
Credit card, yeah, different state, but they had my home address, so they can. I'm figuring they can track me down, and it was in a town. I don't want to give them any airspace because of this traffic thing, but I like the town, and I was like, they could probably use the money.
Okay. So California.
No, it wasn't California. Good work, Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Detective Jake is he's looking for perpetrators.
Right. Look, I had a similar thing where I was with my buddy, and we were going to another buddy's wedding in LA. We drove from Denver to LA, and we kind of hung out in LA for a little while. We parked on the beach, or on one of the parking spots, next to the beach. I'm like, we're not going to pay for parking. That's ridiculous. And we walk out, and he got a ticket, and he wanted me to pay it. I'm like, or pay for part of it. I'm like, no.
Wait, who said we're not going to get a ticket?
No one said we're not going to get a ticket. I think we just decided not to pay for parking, and we're just not going to pay and see if they give us a ticket. We don't know. We're not going to be on the beach very long. Who cares? Yeah. We're going to risk it. We're going to risk it.
I had another similar situation. I was in Oakland, California on this same road trip, and you got to kill time, and so I'm just like, I'm basically sitting in my car, and I have like 4 hours to kill. So I decided to go to a movie, and I go to a movie theater, and it's adjacent to a parking garage, and it's like they got QR codes, and you're supposed to pay by the QR code, and I'm sitting in the car just messing around because I got like an hour and a half until the movie starts. This was the Roof Man. For anybody who's a real fan and remembers all the stories about Roof Man, there's an inside baseball detail about that day. So I'm sitting there in my head. I've already decided I'm not paying for parking. I've already walked around the place. I've already scoped out the movie theater, how to get there, and figured out what movie time I'm going to, what movie, etc. Go back, sit in my car. I'm there for like half an hour, and I see some parking meter maid person put a ticket on the car directly facing me. Like I'm sitting in my car. I haven't paid yet, but I think they're ignoring me because I'm in the car. And I mean, I'm assuming it's a $50 or $75 ticket because it's like $20 to park. And I was at that point, I was like, oh, I do need to pay. I actually got out of my car because I was worried she was going to write. I'd already been there for almost an hour. Yeah. And I was worried they were going to write me a ticket. And I just pretended to not understand how things worked and said, you know how I pay for parking? Like, do you see this big QR code right here, bigger than your car? You just scan that and
yeah. Oh man. But okay, so the buddy story. We're in California. We don't pay for parking. He's like, hey, I got a ticket. He ends up getting a ticket, and he's like, hey, do you want to split the ticket? And I was like, I'm never going back to California.
Oh yeah, parking, those corporate parking things. I have definitely not paid one of those.
Yeah.
It comes from like Easy Park Co. from Detroit, Michigan or something, but you parked in Denver, Colorado. It's like, good luck.
Good luck on some of this stuff.
Yeah, good luck tracking me down for your $35. That was a waste of $1 in postage.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's wild. I just got another. What did I get recently? It might have been that No, it wasn't. Definitely wasn't that. Oh, I got a toll thing from San Francisco, the Bay Bridge. I another bill in the mail. I'm losing money on this run, Jake. Hand over fist. I got a $8 toll bill in the mail. The picture of my car completely black. It was at night. You know how they like flash usually? I don't think the flashes were working, or I don't know what was going on, but it was complete. It was just a black square. No license plate, no picture of me. I don't even know how they tracked me down. Maybe it was a misprint.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that works. They must have been able to read the license plate, but you couldn't read it on it was a black square. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. All right. Well, so is that it about the Lady Redbirds?
Yeah, Cardinals. Yeah. They
Jake.
Yeah, they are just the worst. And
you can't blame them for being successful.
Oh, I can blame anybody for being anything.
I mean, just wait until someday tells a story about. Have you ever heard of Big Jake Hovis?
Oh my goodness!
He was at the Yum Center, and man, parking was wild.
Oh man, we had to pay $10 to park.
I'm a big fan of those Redbirds. You go Redbirds.
Yeah.
I'm sure they could beat me in basketball.
Yeah, they're probably good. I mean, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Do you ever get disillusioned with basketball or just with sports? You're like, everything is meaningless. I mean, you can't really pull at that thread because then everything will be like, does anything matter?
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary on Apollo 13 recently, and the voiceover guy, the guy that Tom Hanks plays in the movie, he's like doing this little voiceover while they're showing like these crazy shots of just the earth, and you're looking down on the earth, and why can't people just get along? And I'm thinking, why does anything matter at all ever? Like when you look at the earth and how small everything is.
Yeah, but that's dark and deep, Jake.
Yeah, well,
I think it's fun to tell my 3 minutes of jokes. I'm having a good time. I will say about Apollo 13. What category of movie is that? A biopic or a history movie? What would you call it?
I mean, history probably.
All right, history movies way more exciting when you were not good at history. I can remember viscerally when they lost contact towards the end of the movie, thinking this was the worst 2 hours of my life. They're all dead. I cannot believe this is happening. I was probably 19 years old, and I saw that movie in the theater, and I was just like, I was heartbroken. I couldn't believe they died.
You were probably just beside yourself.
I was so curious
when you were watching Titanic and that boat starts going down. You're like, what is happening?
Well, at least there'll be enough lifeboats. Don't worry about it.
There'll be plenty of lifeboats, right? This was the maiden voyage. How does it go down on the first one?
Yeah, that one I'll cop to knowing a little bit about the ending. I think because it was in the previews.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it is funny when you make a historical movie when everyone knows what's going to happen. I mean, when they're getting on the boat, we all know what's going to happen.
That's never going to happen. Not everybody. Their stupidity is a powerful drug.
Yeah.
Stupidity is rampant. Yeah. Let's just say, man. Speaking of stupidity, can I get mad at the Target Corporation for a little bit? I don't know your stand on Target.
I'm very anti-Target.
I needed to, and this is really a rant. What's that word I'm looking for? That's like screech. I don't know. I'm angry. I'm angry about retail establishments, and I needed a new smoke detector. Mine was dead. It'd been like 10 years. So I found one that was similar online. Mark being stupid. This is a running theme. Mark's stupid thing of the week. I specifically bought a smoke detector that I thought I was going to be able to. So like smoke detectors usually come in two pieces. There's the part that you like drill into your ceiling, and there's the part you connect into that part. And so I tried specifically to buy the same exact smoke detector so I wouldn't have to change the ceiling thing. And I could just unscrew one and screw in the next one. And come to find out when I got it to my house, definitely not the same size. Totally different, even though I thought I had Googled perfectly. But the Target smoke detector, $29 online. Yep. Okay, no big deal. Go to the actual Target store, wandering around. So frustrating that in the app it says it's in like aisle G29.
Okay.
So I go to I find the rough area where like home goods would be, and I see like G26, G27, G28, big aisle. There's no 29. And I'm going back and forth like 5 times. I can't find G29. I finally find an employee. Turns out like the wall perpendicular to all the rows is unlabeled G29. So annoying. So I'm already annoyed. And then I find the thing. At first, I'm looking. You look by price because it's easier to find the number. So I'm looking for this $29. There's no $29. I finally find the thing. It's $45. And so, like, I check my phone. I look at the thing. It's the same exact product. On my phone, it's $29. At the Target, it's $45. Okay. I did the math. That's a 50% markup. That is a huge difference. So I go to the customer service desk and they're like, oh, we'll price match it for you. No problem. That's not what gets me mad. What if you're somebody without a phone, without internet, or just in a rush? They're charging 50% more for their product. That I'm angry. I'm angry.
Weird. I mean, it feels like that they have the incentive to not do that because that's the whole point of them existing is you can go in and grab it. But
well, I think their whole philosophy is that if you're running in to grab something and you don't know any better, we might as well charge you 50% more. And then I looked more carefully at my phone and it said when purchased online. Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Online. And I'm like, that's just rude.
Yeah.
That is rude. I'm mad. Yeah. Target, I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
But I got it for $29. And I got to say, I felt like I got kind of a good deal.
There you go. There you go.
It was like my own personal Black Friday.
It's funny. Like yeah, it's fun. You are similar in that way to my wife because she is, I mean, I don't know how confrontational you are just in general, but she's very non-confrontational. Except
I would say I kind of am.
Yeah, except when it comes to prices, and so if the price is wrong, she's going to talk. She's going to go all the way up. She's going to no. She's going to pull out.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. If it was $34, so 29 versus 34, would you have just checked out, or would you have gone to the customer service?
I would have just checked out.
What about at 45?
I was surprised that customer service was an option when you told the story. I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
Well, luckily there was no line. Like really what I have to think about, if there was a line, what would I have done? I would have just abandoned it. I'm just not purchasing it here.
I might have ordered it. I might have looked back on the phone. Oh, online only. Well, I got to order this thing.
Well, I was figuring what one of my options would be to order it for in-store pickup and go over to the in-store pickup and just say, hey, I'm here. I ordered it 10 seconds ago, and here I have it in my hand. You want to just clock it in?
Lucky for us, we've got it. Yeah,
that's fun. That's hilarious.
My wife does that a lot, and she is shopping right now.
Okay,
and I don't know.
She'll be gone until tomorrow.
Yeah, so I don't know what your experience is with this, with wives. I don't even know if you've ever been married, but yeah, my wife works in a very mysterious way where she will feel guilt. She'll buy things and feel guilty about it unless she has a budget or has some sort of like parameters.
Okay.
And then she can buy it. So she is constantly wanting to have some sort of like, okay, what's the limit? Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And And I think that that's fine. I kind of get the same idea. Like especially if you're buying stuff that you're wasting money on, right?
Right.
And for her, it's a lot of clothes. For me, it's books. You can see my room, right? There's
Yep.
books everywhere. Um, and if I'm spending $20 on books, I don't feel bad at all. But if I spent $400 on books, I'd feel terrible. So she's going to a thrift store with her friend this afternoon. She's already texted me a couple of times saying, we might be gone all day.
Okay.
What budget would you think would be an appropriate budget for a thrift store? So we're going to thrift store,
All
and
day.
also she's thrifty already. So
Okay.
if she
I'm
wants
gonna say $50.
$50 exactly. $50.
All right, let's get on the prices right. Did I ever tell you I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune?
Really?
Yeah,
What?
it wasn't that hard, except I didn't
Yeah.
get on.
Yeah.
So I got rejected, but I had like a Zoom interview and everything.
Yeah. I had a Zoom interview for Wheel of Fortune too.
Oh, and you didn't get in?
No.
Oh,
They got mad at me.
so much better now.
I want to say I shot myself in the foot immediately because I
Did you say you were a stand-up comedian?
No, I logged in 2 minutes early. But is that a thing? I think that's a thing.
Which
Stand-up comedian.
I think that's bad.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so here's the story. Okay, Family Feud. So I applied for Family Feud. I was the one that applied. So I have my family, and we did a video. We did this fun little video, and then we ended up doing a like a mock round with the producer. So we went through. They read everything. They saw the video. We did the mock round. My brother called me later, like, "There's no way we don't get this. We're very funny. We're interesting. And part of the part that was interesting is I am 6'8", very big guy. I have a brother that's 6'4", a brother that's 6'3". My dad's 6 foot, and then my wife is 5'3". And so it's like 4 huge guys and 1 little woman. Yeah. So I think it'd be fun looking at it. But when we did the application, when we did the interview, they asked, like, what do you do for a living, whatever. I was in this weird spot between schools. So I was a high school teacher for 8 years. I had quit job, was about to move to Kentucky. I had some feelers out. I didn't quite have a job here, and I got one within a couple of weeks.
I think you gotta lie. If I did it again, I'd just make up something pedestrian.
If I did it, yeah, I would say teacher, because I think teacher I would have gotten it, but I said comedian.
Yeah, well, I said comedian at the Wheel of Fortune. I think that killed me. I did fine, but I think they don't want.
I don't think they want
performers or hams. They want regular people. They want people who are watching to think, "Oh, I could be that person."
Yeah, and I mean, a teacher,
somebody like me, not selling out Yum Stadium.
Yeah,
hard for people to relate to.
So my brother called me later, and he was like, "Man, there's no way we don't get this." And then I kind of eventually did all the math, and I was like, dang it, this is my fault, because I could have said teacher. I was a teacher for 8 years. I was about to be a teacher for 2 more years. So it's a complete truth that I'm a teacher. And people like teachers.
Yeah.
Oh,
well. Can you reapply?
Probably. I don't know. I haven't looked at
it. I kind of forgot about it until now, but I might try and reapply for the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about it. I did a run with Graham K. He's a Nate Land guy. Nate Bargatze does the big stadiums, etc. Took him around Colorado. He had a weekend booked in Denver. This is a perfect situation for me. I can't remember exactly how we connected, some mutual friend or something. And he reached out 6 months in advance and said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Denver this weekend. You got anything for me?" So he had Friday and Saturday booked, and I got him Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And we started Wednesday in Frisco, which you did, Frisco, Colorado, that high side brewing. And that was a fun show. We had about 50, 60 people. We had a classic Mark is Stupid moment. BK Sherrod was on the phone. Do you know BK?
Yeah,
he's, for anybody who doesn't know BK Sherrod, very funny. He's got a Don't Tell video out there. Indian guy, dark brown skin, will become important in a moment. And just in case you're listening to this and have never seen me, I'm not dark brown skinned. I'm white. I'm pretty white. Okay. So Graham, this is pre-show. I'm done setting everything up. I set up the lights. I set up the cameras. They have a soundboard there and their speakers, but there's some trouble with the soundboard, and I work all that out. So we're ready to go. And there's like half an hour before the show, and we're just hanging out. And I'm talking with BK and Graham mentions that he has face blindness, meaning I guess he can't remember people's names. He sees people and he can't really remember. And then, so then like 15 minutes later, we're in the other half of High Side. I go over there and Graham runs into me and we're chatting and I say, hey, how do you want me to bring you up? It's the first show of the run. I don't know how he wants to be brought up. He's been on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. He's a Comedy Cellar guy. He's got albums. He's been on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And then something happens, like a dog comes by. We get distracted. And we're talking a little bit more. And then he says, well, let me say what I heard him say. I heard him say, by the way, you can say that on Colbert and Fallon. Okay. That's what I heard him say. You can say that on Colbert and Fallon. And I thought he confused me with BK because they were maybe having a conversation about what kind of material can be on late night television. That's a pretty common comic conversation when somebody hasn't been on late night, but somebody has. And so I say to him, man, you really do have face blindness. That must have been a conversation with BK. We don't look anything alike. That's hilarious to confuse me with BK. And he just looks at me kind of puzzled and says, okay. And then we separate and we do the entire show. But as so we do the show, it's me, there's a guest spot, BK features. And then as BK's like wrapping up, I'm thinking, oh shoot, I never heard from Graham how he wants me to bring him up. And then in my head, I realized, oh my gosh, I must have misheard him. He said, you can say Colbert and Fallon.
You can say Colbert.
He was answering my question from a few minutes ago. And so I bring him up, Colbert and Fallon. And then on a drive after, I'm driving around, I have to say to him like, hey buddy, I'm so sorry. I misheard you. And that was so nice of you. The way you responded. You must have face blindness. Unbelievable. Oh boy. So I don't really know how to solve for that. Maybe I need hearing aids. I don't know what's going on, but that was pretty classic.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah.
We went on the next night we did Gypsum, Gypsum, Colorado. Shout out to Eagle River Brewing Company. Really fun show. So the month before we had Adam, Kate, and Holland, and we sold 80 tickets and we sold it out. And I was like, there are more chairs here and there's more space. I think we can get to 100. So I decided to go to 90 at this show without the venue's permission, just added capacity. And we sold it out. We sold 90 tickets. We actually sold 94 because there were 4 walk-ups. I was like, sure, we'll find space for you. Yeah. There was barely space. We're not getting to 100. I think 90 is the limit in that room. And that was a way to Gypsum, you rule. Just amazing coming out and supporting comedy. And it was super fun. It was really great. Shout out to Kyle Ruff from Steamboat Comedy. He came in and did a really funny set. I haven't seen him in like 3 years perform comedy. And he's, I mean, saying that he's really improved sounds like I'm saying something bad about him, but I'm not. He's very funny and he's even funnier now. And it was really fun to see him. And one of my very first ever booked shows, he put on in Steamboat, huge sold out brewery show. And so it was really fun to like full circle, have him on a sold out brewery show and kind of pay that back. So that was pretty neat. And then our, what did we do the last? Oh, we went to Castle Rock, Colorado, and I got a coffee shop room there that that also interesting capacity stuff. Very first show, I thought we could fit 40 people. We got about 30 in there, and I realized, no, we can't get 40 people. I might have even thought we could get to 50. And I realized, oh, we can do like 30 and change. And then this night we got about 30, which was pretty good for a Sunday night. And super fun. What else happened? There was like not half the audience, but like 10 of the audience were people in the same building who worked at a therapist's office and came downstairs to see the show. Thank goodness for them, because they were like a third of the audience.
Yeah.
And I think it was their, I don't know this, they didn't really advertise this to me, but I have a suspicion it was their holiday party. And what a frugal way to have a holiday party. Like, who needs to hire a comedian when there's a professional comedy show downstairs? There's a guy who's performed for 20,000 people before.
Yeah, there it is.
On a little stage in front of a couple dozen locals at a coffee shop. Oh, never a dull moment, Jake.
Dude, that's exciting. I mean, that is really cool. You can do that where, the guy's already got, the easy nights to book, the Friday, Saturday, and then you do the hard nights. And
well, I think the weekends are the hard ones personally,
really?
Because economically, the pay structure to compete with what these let's call them famous. I don't know if they consider themselves famous, but somebody of Graham K's stature, a couple late night credits, tours with Nate Bargatze, regular at the Comedy Cellar. Those people can make pretty good money on weekends.
Yep.
So, and I can't really afford to pay comparable money, but on a Wednesday, I can afford it.
Yeah.
And it's easier also at the venues. I'm having a lot of trouble with venues recently. And one of the troubles I'm having is during ski season in the mountains, people don't want to give me weekend nights because they're already going to make plenty of money.
Yeah,
This is one of the problems of not having your own comedy club and relying on other venues. You never know. Like every once in a while, somebody will just call me and say, hey, a wedding booked the room you were going to do your comedy show in. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Like we sold 50 tickets already. What are you talking about? That's not cool. Always an emergency. I was thinking of like recently, I've been working on a run coming up. It's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I think, do you remember in like grade school doing logic puzzles where it'd be like, Susan is Bob's brother. Bob has one sponge or whatever. And you'd fill in these little charts. That's what putting on these runs is like, because I would get like, of the 4 nights, I would get 3 venues solid and be trying to get the 4th. And then the 4th would fall apart, but be able to do it the second night. And then everything falls apart. I got to start the logic puzzle all over. I think I had like 8 iterations before we finally locked in all 4. And hopefully they hold. I'm going to get the tickets online in the next day or 2. And boy, I hope they stay. Because I also got to figure out the lodging and the driving. And there's all kinds of complications.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a bit of a hassle, but I enjoy it. And it's fun when it actually happens. That Gypsum show, like selling 90 tickets, like besides making some money, I also got to perform in front of 90 people and they're very grateful. Like it's really fun for them. And at that particular venue, shout out to Cody. Cody is the best. He loves comedy. And I love doing shows. I don't know if I've said this on this pod, but I've been saying it a lot recently that I would rather do a show at a venue where the staff really enjoys comedy, but maybe I don't make a ton of money or there's something else wrong with the venue, than do it at a place where the staff just doesn't like comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm totally for that. Yeah. I tried some crowd work at a show recently, and I like crowd work.
This doesn't sound like it's going in a good direction.
I am a fan of crowd work. And part of the reason was I had somebody I don't know, not a friend of mine, not a comic, comment on Instagram post, "Oh my goodness, you're so funny and your crowd work is amazing." Something like that recently. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing a 16-minute set, which is a weird number. 16
That is
minutes.
weird.
I'm doing a showcase. So the host is doing 10, and then there's 5 of us that are doing 16 minutes. And there
Sounds
you
like
go.
a robot booked the show because
Yeah.
16 is a perfect square.
Yeah.
It's like a mathematically, like a computery number.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know the other comics, and the other comics aren't going to do crowd work. They might do like the one little thing. Hey,
Okay, say it again. It's a host and 5
host,
16s.
5 16s.
And where are you in the 5?
I am 3.
Okay.
So I'm right in
Third to last.
Yep. And so I am.
This is what I always say about you, Big Jake. Some people are comics. You're a features feature.
There we go. Yeah, fantastic. I think that's a compliment.
It's better than being a host, I guess.
That's right. Yeah. But so right there in the middle, I'm like, I'm going to do a little bit of crowd work, and I have that kind of mindset going in. And so I do some, and I like to talk to a lot of people really quickly, where it's like, I don't know where he's going. I don't know what's, like that's the idea. And then try to get the vibe off of the people. Like, do they want to talk to me? Do they not want to talk to me? Do they, and if you don't really want to, that's fine. I'll talk to somebody else. So I ended up in the 16 minutes, I ended up really talking to 4 different people. I think I tried a 5th or 6th person even. I probably talked to 6 total, 7 maybe total different people. And that brings them in. That kind of changes the vibe in the room in a good way. All of it's very positive. I'm for it. But I tried a new question. So I like to ask, what do you do for a living?
You do or don't?
I do.
Okay.
I'm for it. And then the new follow-up question is, what is something you don't like about that?
Okay.
I think it's a pretty easy question to answer.
Yeah.
I used to do is something. What I would ask something like this.
Well, and let me ask you a hypothetical. If
Sure.
you did that around this time and it turned out the answer was DirecTV. I work at a DirecTV call center.
Yeah.
And then you find, before you ask the second question, you find out that 20 of their coworkers are sitting with them because they're out for a holiday party.
Yeah.
Would you ask that question?
Yeah. I think that would make it even easier to answer, because you could. First of all, it doesn't have to be true.
Okay.
Second of all, it doesn't have to be the worst thing about the job. You could hate your supervisor, but you also think the copy machine sometimes breaks.
Okay.
You could. There's 1,000 things to complain about. There are, and so maybe the word worst is throwing people off. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done this, when you ask somebody like, "Hey, what are your favorite movies? Give me your top 5 favorite movies," and then they start like spiraling into like, well, I like, I don't know. I mean, and they can't.
Yeah, that's a hard question.
Whereas if you just said, name a movie that you like, any movie,
yes, way easier. Way easier. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Less analysis paralysis.
So maybe worst is not the right word. So I would say,
what's something you don't like about your job?
That job?
Makes it easier to answer.
I think that might have been the way I said it.
Okay.
Anyway, but that's the way I'm going to try to say it.
Okay.
And I've asked this first guy. He works for.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Could you consolidate those 2 questions into one? Just say, what's something you don't like about your job?
Yeah.
I think that might be a little more fun, because then you have to kind of detective what they do. If they're like, when the cat scratches me, and you're like, are you a veterinarian?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other benefit of that is, I think some people are tired of hearing, hey, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
Because they've watched a lot of clips online or whatever. So, specifically comedians are like, why is this guy asking about where people work?
Yeah. So I'm doing crowd work. So you're saying, hey, Mark, or I like to get people's names.
Okay.
I'm very good at names. I can remember everybody that I asked, even yesterday. I can still remember their names. Yeah. And it's this weird thing that, like,
that's really fun. I think that's a great trick on stage. And when you say their name 20 minutes later, it makes the audience feel like, oh, this is special. This is for us. We're all part of a group.
Yeah.
That's it. That's good.
Sometimes they'll like, hey, can you believe what Bobby
That's what makes
said?
you a feature speaker.
Thank you. So anyway, so if I say, hey, okay, this guy in the front row, what's your name? And you said Mark. And then they say, okay, what's something that you don't like about your job?
Okay.
Okay, so that's the way you'd like. So I got your name.
Oh,
and now,
you're asking. You're asking me.
Yeah. We'll go there. What's something you don't like about your job?
When I get paid in beer tickets.
Oh, okay. So you must be a lawyer. So that could be fun too. In like guess wrong on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. All right. We'll give that a shot. Because okay. So the real story is when I tried this, I had a lot of fun. Had a lot of had good energy. I felt like I was owning the room. I mean, and I'm like 12 minutes in, and then I pull out, what's the worst thing about your job? First guy says, I don't know, nothing. I kind of like my job. Okay, Courtney,
what
you
was
worked,
the job?
He was a utility. He worked in utilities. Guy named Dustin, big.
Okay, yeah. So you say to that like, oh, okay, you're working what, 2 hours a day?
Yeah.
And clocking 8.
That's right.
Hope you enjoy your pension that I'm paying for.
I did not think through, and you have already thought through it more than I have. I did not think through even the option of them saying they don't like anything about their job. I didn't think that was an option.
Sure.
Who doesn't like? I mean, every job I've had, I hated.
Right.
But parts of it, at least, like when I was a teacher, hey, what's the worst thing about that job? The kids, and then the parents, and then the admin, but not all of the kids. Just like this one kid, and you can just talk about it for hours. Anyway, so then I asked this other girl, say, hey, you work in tech. What's the worst thing? But I like my job. Okay. Well, you work in healthcare. What do you? I like my job. All right.
I think at that point you got to attack their industries.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head about tech, but healthcare is easy.
Yeah.
You just say like, well, I bet you don't like walking in alleys in New York City anymore.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. And that's
This could become a fun new segment. We could share crowd work moments, and the other person just tries to top.
Right. Well, I'm telling you, my crowd work moment was terrible.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's basically
you did a bad job. What do you do for work? No follow-ups.
Yeah, I got answers that I didn't expect. I'm like, all right, I'm cutting.
That's the risk.
That's the risk. And now I have 4 minutes left, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna cut, and I'm just gonna go straight the A material, the stuff that's gonna burn the house down. Yeah. And I just like, all right, we're done with crowd work. I get to talk. Nobody else gets to talk. For the rest of the show or the rest of my time. So
the fun thing about crowd work to me is when you ask the same question repeatedly in different markets and how suddenly you have a superpower. So not to spoil my act, but my question is, did you have a lunchbox growing up and what was on it? Did you?
No.
And it's fun for people get excited about it because it's like nostalgic and they remember. So what were you like, brown paper bag or
sometimes brown paper bag, but we were mostly bought lunch at school.
Oh, okay. I haven't actually had that response, but now that I'm glad you fed me that because I'll think about it and I'll come up with something funny. Like I get probably the most this is kind of like Family Feud. It's kind of like Family Feud because the number one response is Scooby-Doo or some variation of that. Mystery Machine, Scooby-Doo, and I have a funny joke to say in response to that. I got Wonder Woman once, and the next day I woke up so mad at myself. This is my new response to Wonder Woman. Oh, cool. I have an invisible jet too.
Okay.
So, there you go. I didn't think of it that day, but the next day I did. And it hasn't come up again, but eventually Wonder Woman will. And I have that response ready. So
how many people do you ask that question to in a set?
I would say up to 5.
Okay.
Around averaging 5.
Yeah. So
because it takes the audience a second to get warmed up. Like
yeah,
they're a little confused, and like the first person I ask, and sometimes we get the brown paper bag, or I didn't have a lunchbox, or whatever, or I didn't go to school, or something weird. And then with 100 people, there's 10 people now who are like, oh, I remember my lunchbox. It took me a second to remember Papa Smurf or whatever it is. And then I kind of open it up to, does anybody want to share their favorite lunchbox? Just shout it out. And then I
okay.
kind of listen for the ones that I know jokes about,
Yeah.
or ones that are interesting to me. And I'll ask some questions. I got somebody who said Roy Rogers once. He was like 150 years old. You don't know
Yeah.
who that is? He was like a black and white TV star cowboy
Yeah,
thing
he's a
a
cowboy.
million years ago.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fun question.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I remember Derrick Stroup. He used to. I don't know if he still does it. I think I'm going to see him in a couple weeks. Actually, he's coming to Denver. He already sold out one of his shows, which bums me out. I was going to buy tickets to it. Do you think? Quick question. Do you think I could call Comedy Works and get tickets to a sold out show?
No, I think you could show up and they'd let you in.
Oh, for sure they'd let me in, but I want to bring friends.
No,
But I only need 2 tickets, so I think they might. I'm gonna call them and ask.
that'd be
And
exciting to hear. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll let people know on the Patreon
Yeah.
in the future.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he used to have a crowd work question. You've probably seen it, where he would ask like, what like recess game did you play in the 80s? Was basically what it was. Like, did you play dodgeball or foursquare, or the what are the things you throw? Like, they're like javelins, lawn darts.
Oh yeah, London.
And he had a very funny joke about lawn darts, and I'm sure, like, I only saw him once, but I bet at least half the time somebody says lawn darts, and then he's got a joke ready for it. I saw another comedian, can't remember who it was, black comedian, maybe from SNL, super funny. Anyways, he did a crowd work thing where he asked what was like your best recipe, like what's your like go-to thing you cook, and
Yeah.
it led to the funniest crowd work reactions.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty excited that I finally have, like, my lunchbox thing. I think is pretty original and
Yeah.
unique. I've never heard anybody else ask
Nope.
that. And by the way, it leads into a whole bit that I have. Eventually, I reveal what my lunchbox was, and it goes into material. So I'm pretty stoked on that.
Yeah. I do some, like, what's the first job you ever had? And I don't know. I do this thing where I intentionally ask the question wrong.
Okay.
And so I say, "Do you remember your first job?" And they'll say, "Yeah." Like, okay, just checking. So like that's the first, and then
Yeah. Nice.
okay, what was it? What was the first job? And then if they say anything food related, I'm like, you're not going to believe this. If they say I worked at Pizza Hut, you're not going to believe this. I like Pizza Hut.
Nice.
So
Nice. That's great. I have a funny crowd work story. I went to see Brent Gill.
yeah, he's
He
funny.
headlined Comedy Works South. Pretty
Nice.
tough turnout. It was this Wednesday night. There was a blizzard in Denver, pretty snowy. About 25 people, exactly 25 people in the audience. And let me tell you, the comics before Brent, I won't name them out of respect to them. They struggled. It's not easy with 20. I don't know if you've done Comedy Works South with about 10, anywhere between 10 and 30 people. It is brutal because that's a very large room, high
All
ceilings.
ceilings, yeah.
And it's like awkward for the audience. It feels weird being the only one laughing.
Yeah.
And so eventually they turn into this group of people who are not laughing. They're listening, but they're not laughing.
Yeah.
So Brent did great. I love it when a comic brings it. And most comics do, but some will like complain, or you can tell they don't want to be there or whatever. And Brent really, like, he did a bunch of great things. He was, very in the moment. He, did some crowd work. He was high energy. He addressed the fact that there weren't a lot of people there, and he made it more fun than it should have been. And he did 50 minutes, which is not easy. So
Yeah.
he did very well. Like an outside observer might have been like, that wasn't very impressive. But to me, it was very impressive what he pulled off. Anyways, he asked an older gentleman in the audience something, and the guy just like shook his head. And Brent was like, "Can you not hear me?" And he nodded his head. And so like for like 20 minutes, Brent was under the impression that this guy was deaf or hard of hearing, and
Yeah.
his wife brought him to the show. And finally, like 20 minutes later, he asked the wife. He said, "Hey, was he lying before when he said he couldn't hear me a little bit?" And she goes, "Yeah." So this guy basically feigned a disability to not
Yes.
have to be part of crowd work.
Yeah. I've gotten, that's funny.
Pretty clever.
That's clever. I've gotten a fake name and called them out like that's a fake name.
Okay,
And they're like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's funny.
it's totally a fake name.
That's funny.
The,
Brent did a really good job with it because he was like, "I'm the loudest comedian you'll ever see or
yes.
hear. So you not being able to hear me is impressive."
Yeah. The I do like it when the comedians bring it. Ben
Roy?
Ben Roy.
I just booked him. He's coming up
he
to the
is
mountains, January 8th, everybody. Check my website for the tickets.
that dude brings it. I
He is
saw him
awesome.
at this little rinky dink. It was a golf club, but like a golf.
Raccoon Creek?
I don't
No?
think so. It was in Aurora.
Colorado?
It was in Aurora.
Oh, okay.
But it was like 5 minutes down the road from my house. I'm like, there's a comedy show like right there, and it's like tomorrow. Oh, let's go! So I bring my wife. I'm early in comedy, and he is performing. I want to say for like 15, and they're at round tables. They're way spread out. Everything is set up wrong, and he brings it to the point that I still think about it. I'm like, that's a pro doing it, and with full commitment on every bit.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. I did a golf course show with him not that long ago, this summer, and kind of a disaster. Got a flat tire. I drove from Dallas all the way to Littleton, Colorado the same day. I can't remember how many hours that is, 12, 14. It was brutal. It was a long drive. And in Colorado Springs, I got a flat tire. So I was almost all the way there. I get a flat tire. Somebody came and picked me up and brought me to the gig. I was there. I was like 5 minutes late for like check-in, but still there before the show even started. And it's a guy is hosting, and then me, I'm the feature, and then Ben Roy. And the host, I'm all excited because I have a 20-minute spot, and I brought 2 cameras and a Zoom recorder because I was going to use this to potentially get a dry bar because it was supposed to be clean. So I had just done like 10 to 14 nights of shows. This was when I was sleeping in my car in New Orleans, did a show in Virginia, North Carolina, made it over to Texas, and then up to Colorado. It was the last night. I was very sharp. I was going to nail this 20-minute clean set. I was ready to tape it, set up all my stuff. The host gets on. Rah, rah, rah. The speaker is so bad. The sound system is awful. I've done this venue before, and the show producer brought his own speakers, but for some reason he didn't bring his speakers this time and used the house system. And there's like feedback between the microphone and the ceiling speakers. And so I think it was Ben. I asked, hey, because he's a musician.
Yeah.
So I asked Ben during this guy's set, I said, hey, do you have any ideas about the microphone and the sound system? This sounds awful. He's like, yeah, this is terrible. It sounds so bad. Maybe try and get away from that ceiling speaker. So I get up on stage. I stand over out of the light, like, hey, everybody, does this sound any better? And I make some jokes about the sound, and everybody's laughing, and they're happy. And they're like, yeah, it does sound better, but it doesn't sound much better. It's pretty bad. He gets up and he just goes, I'm not going to use the microphone. There's like 100 people there. It's not like it's a very tiny thing, but he's a loud guy, and it was so much better. I wish I had thought of that. I will in the future. There's a tip for you. If the sound is terrible and you can get away with it, just don't use the microphone. He's a real pro. He's the best. He's so funny.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the way that acoustics and rooms used to be made, people didn't use microphones. It's weird to think about it, but I mean, this was not that long ago in like the 1890s. and even early 1900s, people would speak to. I know the guy I wrote my dissertation on. There's a bunch of like statues and stuff of him up there. He spoke to 5,000 people regularly. I think his biggest crowd was 20,000 people, unamplified. Like,
Whoa.
but the room was built in a way.
Yeah, I guess that's why they have those like seashell.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
I don't even know.
They have one in Boston.
And it's acoustic paneling.
Yeah, I think in LA there's a famous one too. Conch shell, seashell, some kind of something.
But yeah, you just project pretty hard, and you can get it. You can hit the back wall there. But the weird thing is that, and it reminds me of Zoom shows, because if you had a heckler, or you had somebody even just ordering, or you had somebody, whatever it was, they are now. I mean, if you're projecting, and if you're Ben Roy, whatever, it's a little bit different, but they're basically the same volume as you. I don't know if you ever like you did a Zoom show where somebody starts talking in like they're not on stage, but it's like everybody has a microphone. It's weird. and that's the thing when you're at the comedy club and you've got the mic and somebody's ordering, or somebody's like just talking to the waitress about the check, or these people are having a conversation, whatever. Or even if you're doing crowd work, you have to repeat what the person said because not everybody heard it. And you've got a lot of control. That's why, a comedian will always beat a heckler because he's got the microphone. You can't lose,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives you some authority.
Yeah.
But, hey, I got a question for you. You ever heard of a comedian, Jason Salmon?
No.
Salmon.
He sounds delicious.
All right. Well, trying to book him. But he might be too famous for me. I don't know. I got to do some research after this. He came highly recommended, and I listened to some of his stuff. All right.
I had
you got a story? Okay.
Fun little thing happened after the show. So after I do my good crowd work, and then my testing crowd work that didn't go great, and then I ended well with a nice 4-minute series of well-worn jokes. I got off stage. It's a Thursday night, and the headliner for the next 2 nights is in the room. I didn't really recognize him. He was wearing a hat. He doesn't wear a hat usually, and he gives me a big thumbs up like that, and I was like, okay, well, that guy liked it. I don't know who he is. And then I get back to the green room, and he comes into the green room, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm Chris." And I was like, "Oh yeah." and Chris Porter, very funny guy.
Yeah.
And
well known.
And he was like, "Man, yeah, I saw your stuff, super funny. I really liked it." And then he's like, "Yeah, are you featuring much these days?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm featuring. Do a little bit of headline." I didn't say I did a lot of corporate. But I said, yeah, mostly feature. Yeah, okay. And then I'm a features feature that's been said.
Yeah, that's your new thing. Get it on that Pokemon card.
And so anyway, he's like, well, you ever featured for anybody? And I said, like regularly, and like basically anybody take you on the road with you. And I said, well, yeah, last year I did a bunch of shows with Etta May. And he's like, really? She's still doing it? I'm like, yeah, she's still doing it. He's like, long story short, he was a feature for Etta May years ago. So we both featured for the same lady, who is funny, and sells a lot of tickets and is very generous. But yeah, it was interesting to see that. Yeah, and then I had to look him up on Instagram because I'm like I wasn't following him. I liked the guy.
Yeah.
Even before this, I bought tickets. So he was supposed.
Is he from Nebraska?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he was supposed, I think Kansas. Anyway.
Kansas, something like that. Derrick Stroup told me about him before Derrick Stroup was really anybody. I think he had featured for Chris Porter, and he told me Chris Porter was very funny. So when Derrick tells you somebody's very funny, you're like, oh, okay. I've always remembered that.
Yeah. When the Louisville Comedy Club was like a rumor, and they like, okay, it's about to start, it's about to open. he was going to be the first weekend. And I bought tickets to the very first show of the very first weekend, and then they had to postpone it a month. And so they refunded my tickets, and I got tickets to somewhere else. And I actually worked the door for the very first opening night at a little comedy club. So I bought tickets for him, and I had tickets for him for a couple of months, and then I never saw him. And he's here this weekend, but I'm booked tonight and tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be able to get back in town early enough tomorrow that I could see part of them, because I'd like to see his act.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, because he's got great taste in comedians, right?
Yeah, of course. We got to. He loves a feature.
He loves a feature.
We got to roll into the Patreon, Jake. I'm gonna talk. I went to see Sam Talent live at Comedy Works. He was for Thanksgiving weekend, and then Sunday night, Comedy Works headlining debut of Nathan Lund. Speaking of a feature, that's Sam Talent's best bud and regular feature, but he got the headline. There was a medical emergency. That is what a story. We'll talk about in the Patreon. I also want to talk. I'm doing tomorrow night. I'm doing a holiday party for a couple aerospace companies in what is apparently an elementary school gymnasium. And I want to talk to you about my set list. So I'm having a little bit of a panic attack. It's a shorter set, and I don't know which joke. I have too many jokes. This is such a nice problem to have these days. I wish I had this problem years ago.
Yep.
You got any PTs for the Patreon?
Dude, I did something that got me booked 5 times over. I mean, within 2 days, I got 5.
Give me the secret on the Patreon.
I will give you the
everybody. Patreon.com/Mark and Jake. This is coming out December 15th. Everybody, Merry Christmas. It's holiday time. Happy Kwanzaa, all that lovely stuff. Hanukkah, everything like that. December 15th. I just did my surgeon's private event. December 19th, this coming Friday. I'm in Georgetown, Colorado. Find those tickets at gtowncomedy.com. The letter G, towncomedy.com. Brant Tobler is headlining that show. We got Austin Black on the show. It's going to be a party. That place is wild. It's nuts. You should drive from Denver. It's only like 45 minutes. Definitely, you're going to drink your face off. So if you're of that variety, so get a hotel room up in Georgetown. There's some discounted hotel possibilities in the ticketing system. What do you got, Jake, coming up?
I got a show in the Nashville area, just north of Nashville, in a town called Gallatin. Very fun show. Should be, and you can go to the Comedian Discovery page for that. Clayburn Cox is going to be on the show with me, and he's a very funny dude.
Okay. And BigJakeHovis.com or BigJakeComedy.com?
BigJakeComedy.com.
Yeah. And MarkMasters.co. Maybe a little late to book your holiday party. Not too late for early January, sober January party. How about Valentine's Day? Let's feel the love. Reach out. We want the comments in the YouTube. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the Patreon, everybody. Have a great week.